Looks good. Let's go. Welcome to a muzzled chat. Folks, bear with me one moment. I want to verify that this stream is working as it's supposed to. I hope you had time to go through that pre-clip we queued up. It is very powerful. Don't fear, if you were just making your way through it, we'll show you where it is on the website. And this stream is not verifying. Come on. It looks as though we're good. I'm just going to roll with it. Let's not mess around. There's no better way to get the rust off the gears than diving right on in. I'll start with my friends. I've missed you, and I cannot wait to share some of my story and the information. Words cannot express. I believe there are great blessings in store for us all that we're going to be sharing with you here today. It's really hard not to dive into. There is a yearning to dive into all the chaos. We live in such an interesting time, don't we? The news cycle, just everything that's going on in the world. And so much of it is crucial and important that we see things clearly versus get wrapped up into the noise and the propaganda of it all. But I want to address something right out the gate. What has us continuously in a state, just like a baseline level of operation, if you will, continuously accepting the unacceptable? And we could look at economics, the political realm, our health system, health don't care system, the planned scamdemic, a lot of the junk even being spread from pulpits. So it's even infiltrated our organized religion. There's so much to dive into, but when I really look into what has us at this basically unacceptable operating state where we're so easily polarized against one another and ad nauseum, pretty much like hamsters on a hamster wheel, not really addressing anything. There's so many things I want to even bring to thought. It's like taxation. To look at the previous examples as far as we understand it, not just our founding fathers here in this country, but the people that fled tyranny, that understood oppression, the lengths that they were willing to go. For example, a 2% T-tax. And here we are all these years later, operating and accepting the unacceptable. We're voluntarily giving away over 40% of our income, our hard-earned income. What is that? Doctors coming out with cures, getting suicided, all the research gone. To so many things that are ailing us. So many of these situations, yes, shocking, but they're opportunities. But these situations highlight something. That there is a ruling class. There is a hierarchy. There are people in this world that don't abide by the rules, the law of the lands we ourselves do. Why is that? Why? When we are the people. The baseline operation in this country is ass freaking backwards. We are the checks and the balance. It's supposed to be ran and governed and everything to serve we the people. And it's not. So it kind of goes back to, why are we continuously at the state of accepting the unacceptable? If we could see past the noise, all the wedge issues, and fulfill our job collectively, there's no individuals stronger than we are as a collective. There's no organized group, cabal, private society. Are you kidding me? So, stepping back further, why are we not doing that? I believe propaganda only goes so far. Indoctrination only goes so far. So we step back even further. Knowing that there's an active hierarchy, what do you suppose is the best method to see their number one tactics? You know, we'll bring that point home in just a minute. But everything revolves around our health. That, I believe, is the core, the fundamental issue that has us operating at a level where we're accepting the unacceptable. For example, safe and effective, when they withheld and they knew of over 1,000 known side effects, yet they labeled it safe and effective. They tried every angle of coercion, manipulation, incentivization, and fear. Taking away choice, taking away your agency. They tried everything. There's been zero accountability. That's still available. So when someone has ill effects, surprise, surprise, on the information, like they were withholding thousands of known, it's not I'm getting too deep in the weeds. I could feel myself tripping on my limitations, and forgive me. Please forgive me. There's two pressing issues that has me in the studio today. And it's to kick off and share some of the information. And I'm already tripping up there. And secondly, I am still facing Lyme disease, and I felt a level as instrumental in breakthroughs as I've had with the other protocols I'm on, with the Lyme kill off. I could feel my detox pathways clogging up, toxin overload overwhelming my body. And one of the main symptoms I've noticed, and it's regarding my neurological, and I can feel it tripping up. And that's so painful for me in this moment, because I know I have the ability to articulate more seamlessly, kind of sound the alarm, and really hone in on the importance, like, because to sum up what I was trying to get at, and here I am dancing back and forth from that other reason. I swear, how you put up with me, I don't know. But bear with me, because I will be showing up with my full cognitive, which has blown me away. I've been in a mental place where I've been running circles around my former self, unlocking my own body's natural ability to heal. Yes, from even a biological weapon we call Lyme disease. And if it's that instrumental for me, what would it do for the healthiest among us? What would it do for cancer, any other ailment, depression, disease, negative symptom? And why does it matter whether we're symptomatic or not? I believe we found one of the keys. And it's been right in front of our face the whole time. And it's no secret. You can see it in the labeling in this very episode, and we're going to get to all that. So the second reason I need to be wiser and take my infrared sauna with me, because as I'm doing this protocol, I just go. As soon as I get any life breathed into me, I'm just so passionate about bringing solutions, even to my own demise, when I start skimping on what I know I need to do to be operating at my best. So forgive me, but thank you for bearing with me. So my infrared sauna is here, and I cannot wait to wrap this up and start that detox. And I'm going to be doing it daily, 4 days. So just see for yourself how it changes, the ability for me to even articulate. Now, to wrap up that other point, there's a couple different angles we could go at assessing why we're in a state of accepting the unacceptable. One of the roads and paths is with a clear hierarchy, with clear devilish individuals were oppressors. That road, if we really asked ourselves, what's the most effective way of seeing their number one tactic? Well, let's see what we can't talk about the most, what they're suppressing the most, what information they don't want out there the most. And unless we're challenging ourselves in such an unmuzzled way, we're not really going to get to the bottom of it ourselves. So we could lean on those that are being unmuzzled. And we have a lot of examples. Tucker Carlson is one of those examples. Stu Peters is one of those examples. SGT report, redacted with Clayton, is one of those. Folks, it is so crucial. We look at those patriots that essentially are not for sale. And so many of them have honed in on, the oppressors, but also, I believe if I were given the opportunity in a private chat, what have you been most censored over? What I've experienced here over the last few years on this, whatever you want to call it, journey of a muzzle chat. It's none other than everything and anything regarding our health. Over all the other isms, anti-Semitism, racism, you name it. All the labels they use is a CIA operation, PSYOP, to keep us from asking questions, from seeking truth, from posting what we know to be true on our social medias. Getting truth out, you'll find out really quickly we're not free. You'll find out really quickly as to what they are suppressing the most. Now, my friends, based on that, if we fully absorb just that, that's what we should be focusing on the most, because the other path I was talking about, why are we individually accepting to our own detriment, voluntarily paying over 40%? And we excuse it. Well, there needs to be towards infrastructure. What, to the point of trillions that Doge has pointed out? To the point like we see a bag of rivets through our military complex, essentially laundering money because that's a $7 bag of rivets. But they're charging $80,000. I digress. I believe we somehow gain back more so a baseline of normal operation. We wouldn't be accepting that level of taxation. We wouldn't be accepting all the corruption taking place all around us. You freaking name it. So instead of just trying to speak out on the political, we've tried and we've made progress. But let's look. We're on the verge of another world war. There's like Korea-style propaganda tactics where I cannot believe the talking heads are literally stating that 100% of MAGA, 100% of MAGA is behind the actions that have been taken. That is so untruthful. Who isn't in this country about making America great again? This is just a psyop in and of itself, and utilizing labels. You're either with us or you're not. So just to even run on titles like that, it's psychological warfare. And it's a clear example of war propaganda. Because I'm not for those things. I'm not for bombing and double tapping, which are both war crimes in and of itself. Even the attack or engaging with a country unprovoked in and of itself is a war crime. Nothing legal about this. But it's just like vaccines. I mean, they're selectively, sure, there'll be one person, I'm for it. Okay, 100% based on that one person. Yep, we have 100% support. They don't. And when you look at the other reviews or why am I tripping up? I'm getting too deep in it. Maybe that's just a part of this moment that I'm off point and I'm trying to pack too much into this. So once again, forgive me. I should have just stuck with there's so much I want to talk about, and we'll get to that. What I want to dive into at this point is something very simple. I kept naturally resorting during the real chronic times where I find myself in it, and it was beyond more than I could muster up. And through the grace of God, somehow I was able to get my person in nature. And I believe that was a solid lifeline. And I had two missions kind of in mind. A, my own healing journey. And B, to show up better here. Try to, with all my flaws, pack in a lot of truth bombs and things. Just over 400 episodes of trying. Notice something very profound. That every time I'm out in nature, a lot less inflammation, irritation. My sleep schedule, circadian rhythm reset to where I'm feeling more rested. Neurological memory, everything, function, life itself seemed worth living. Now I get more, some of us are more sensitive to certain things than others, but irregardless, if we're only going to be reactive to symptoms, we must understand something. We will forever be dogs chasing our tails. We must get to the root of these ailments, because with enough exposure, because someone's more sensitive, doesn't mean that someone that isn't showing any symptoms at all, with time, isn't going to be right there. So I noticed something very profound is I'm out in nature. I listed a lot of the things I would feel. And then naturally when I would end up in our civilized societies, I have a home down here. It's not even mine. It's the bank's. Let's be honest. Let's not deceive ourselves. Hopefully one day I'll make that last payment. Another like form of why are we accepting that unacceptable to where 30-year mortgages, 50-year mortgages, get out of here, where we're paying double or triple the agreed upon price. What's wrong? That should be a pretty stark example right there as to why we're not operating at a level near even normal, because who in their right mind would accept those type of things? No wonder we're not, each generation's passing on less wealth to their bloodlines as generations continue. I believe if we shift and get down to the root causes of a lot of these things, we can shift the trajectory entirely. And that also is going to be a collective effort, but it's an individual one as well, because we ourselves got to feel the benefit before we can really amass collective support to address the root itself. So when I get down in the civilized society, if you will, I find myself back on that struggle bus, deteriorating to a point the quality of life ceases to exist. It's gone. Sleep schedule all messed up. I end up getting to bed later and later and later, sleeping longer and longer and longer, yet not feeling less and less rested, more irritable, more frustrated, more brain fog, more inflammation, more pain in my body and joints. And it's like, what is that? In nature, it's kind of combating that, and it's, wow, there's a sense of quality of life, of enjoyment, to just white knuckling. What is that? Could it be altitude? Could it be water? Could it be... Anyway, let's just get to the point. After making legitimate assessments, doing the deep dives, which were really hard to do, because it's like, well, great, we're being radiated. Well, what the frick are we going to do about it? What can I do about it that isn't going to get me imprisoned or dead? Yes, I went down those roads of considering tearing down towers and things of that nature. And let's be real. What overall major impact was that going to lead to? Unless we all collectively, no. Who are we kidding? So after a lot of research and finding awesome Faraday material, I realized something incredibly powerful. And there's really good news. Sure, scientifically, when you look into this for yourself, you naturally want to start minimizing what you can do within your control day after day. But the real catalyst that shifted, and it's literally a palm to forehead moment. Duh, what the frick was I thinking? I guess I wasn't. But when I integrated enough of this material, which is 99% effective of blocking known classified radiations, nothing conspiratorial. I'm not theorizing here. There are over 10,000 studies that back this up 100%. And how is that not common knowledge? Well, A, the suppression of that information. B, the additional noise of, oh, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. With extreme bias, extreme wealthy industry, like tech itself, is going to combat that. But dang it, you don't have to take my word for it. I had a very shocking chat with ChatGPT the other day. we got to understand that these have become propagandist tools. But when you gain the discernment and you can see past that, it tried walking me back from gathering this information. I saw it. But if you want to have this shocking chat, just essentially ask it, give me all the disclosures in the user manuals to any smart device, cellular device, smartwatch, laptop, modem, you name it. If it's got Bluetooth capability, internet ability, Wi-Fi, or its own cellular signal, like our mobiles, in all of them, it talks about a minimum distance. So it may not say definitively the verbiage of not for hand use, but let this sink in. It's talking about maintaining a minimal distance. So it's warning you basically not to have contact with it. That there is what does that tell us? We're not absorbing this, I believe, because we're in a deteriorated state. Now, folks, I'm not trying to sound the alarm in a doom or gloom, because this is the good news. Let's just get to that. Let's stick with that. Here I was minimizing what was within my control, and then finally it got to a point for me. I had to look my gal in the eyes and said, it's non-negotiable. I can't come down here anymore. I got to stay in nature. This is just too debilitating for me. And I'm so grateful for this moment, because it led to what I thought in that moment was kind of extreme measures, integrating this Faraday material into my bedding. I'm so grateful to have taken that action, because lo and behold, after birthing the cocoon and now having a blanket, 99% no EMF, no known classified radiation, and including it to the headboard, that created a healthy environment for me to sleep in. And the results to doing just that, words can't even express. Who would have thunk that just taking that measure, allowing my body, we know, this isn't debatable either, the majority of the body's healing, resetting itself, we're energy beings. We emit our own frequency. We even operate in ways like a battery. You can hold the ohm meter, do it yourself. You'll put out a negative, switch the terminals in each hand. You'll put out a positive. These known classified radiations cause cancer and worse things. I agree with RFK on that. There are worse things than cancer. The point you get a diagnosis, what does that diagnosis tend to get? Attention. Any worse thing is things to this nature, negatively impactful, being swept under the rug, overall are going to have worse effects across the board. So my good report is just integrating this down in our civilized society. Inflammation. You know what? Let's even dumb it down more, and then I can get into some of the specifics. I went directly from knowing, not just feeling, I was deteriorating, to that stopped. I wasn't deteriorating more. The more I used it and the more I was resting in it, holy smokes, I was actually healing. I was healing. Who would have thunk that in our sleep for 6, 7, 8, 9, however many hours you spend in your bed, is not just enough to combat the deterioration, but I could be down there with what's ailing me and be healing. Now it's like, no wonder, duh. That was my duh moment, folks. Duh. All these other expensive protocols, all these other good intended doctors addressing Lyme disease, duh. No wonder it helps some individuals and not others, because some may not be as sensitive to the other radiation at this point, or Maybe they don't have as radiated as an environment as I. So I challenge you. You can look up. That's enough for my ugly mug. Let's do a screen share. Let's open. I challenge you to do this, and I didn't add it in the comments below, but I'll try to remember to put it in there after this live. But check out antennasearch.com. Now, come to find out, it is U.S. addresses. And mind you, they're trying to keep up. See, it's saying it was updated February 1st, 2026. In fact, we just noticed a new one that went up within the last week. That won't be on there. I'm sure there's other ones they're missing. But if you put in your address here, it will automatically do a 3-mile radius around your address. And what does this tell you? This gives you names and data on particular structures just like this. Towers and antennas. Why a 3-mile radius? Because it's been proven. This is like a mega modem, folks. So if you think about it, your Wi-Fi modem within your home is made to permeate throughout your home. We got protections for that too. But this, within a 3-mile radius, is essentially acting like your modem in just a larger geographic area. So, challenge you. Take the time. Put in your address. See how many towers, how many antennas. My home, down there, almost 80 towers, almost 300 antennas. And they're like exclusive antennas. And when you think about that, that is not for a wired transaction, folks. That's wireless. Those are RF wavelengths, microwave wavelengths, a classified radiation. Full stop. You don't have to take my word for it. I have invested in my own meters. You can as well, or you could simply look at what we figured out and so many others have figured out. But this now, it's like, sure, let's focus on those that are more sensitive, that are suffering. I'd venture to say this must become a standard of care from here on out. 100%. Because before you go running and trying to supplement, and that's where I am more so taking this stance, like right here. The body doesn't need more medicine. It needs less interference, because how are we even going to begin to getting to the root? We don't even know what our baseline is amongst a classified radiation that's causing inflammation, neurological issues, cancers, and worse. Duh. It's a duh moment. What are we thinking? And at minimal costs, singular purchases, and this is where I'm thinking, this is extreme. It's extremely hard, I will admit, for folks to do enough research to get in here and start getting protections. Ideally, we collectively address the source at its root. But guys, as it's going, 6G is being rolled out as we speak. So how are we going to affect? We must protect ourselves to maintain the ability to organize and address those. So I'm so grateful that this exists, that we can take affordable, easy, we can implement very easy things that can ensure we're not deteriorating. So some of the things I notice: inflammation leaving my body. With Lyme disease, arthritis-like symptoms, and specifically within my spine, has been nasty. I still have some kinks and pops, but the overall inflammation and tension is almost but gone. So I could only imagine with more time the popping and arthritic feeling is going to dissipate as well. Brain function, memory. I mean, just the sleep cycle itself. I've never been a morning person. Never. Lyme disease, yeah. Yay. Those that have it understand it. And they're the only ones. A lot of you have it and don't even know you do. So maybe that speaks to you not being a morning person. Who knows? But this reset it naturally. I'm waking up way more rested, and everything hinges on that. So at minimum, there's lots of ways we could go about this, folks. This is just a taste. We're going to dive more into this futuristically. I see my limitations. I feel my limitations. You don't sleep on information like this. You sleep in it. I will guarantee anyone's money back. We don't have it built out on this website. But the fact is, nowhere is doing what we're doing to the extent we're doing it. You could go into Amazon. You could do a really quick search. I should have even queued it up. Oh. What is going on? It's been a while. Bear with me. I got to share that. But you could go to Amazon. You could put EMF blankets. You could see one. There's one for like $80. But look at the reviews. It's all 5-star reviews based on the fluffiness. Oh, it's so comfy. But it's 0 reviews, or they have to do 1-star, right? On those that know about true protection. And if they could give negative stars, they would, because it has 0 impact on the actual RF wavelengths. So you're essentially being sold snake oil. So what does that matter? You could get nice fluffy blankets for cheaper than $80, because that's essentially what you're getting. Now you look into Bond Charge, you look into Lamb, you look into these other companies that, yeah, they make some blankets, but you're $300 to $500 for a tiny little blanket that you can't spread across your whole bed. And just the blanket itself isn't creating the cocoon environment. And you don't even understand till you sleep in one. So anyone that wants to give this a go, and they'll do it, give it its due diligence and do 30 days. If they're not happy and they can find themselves living without it, reach out. We will refund you. What do you have to lose at that point? You get the cocoon. Let's do a pay it forward system. Once we start kicking off, you know what? Let's go ahead and do something here. I'm just all over the place. I tell you what. Let's re-kick off this screen share. More organized episodes coming up. Let's go ahead and just add one of these cocoons. Let's add the gray. Let's come in here. Yeah, let's view the cart. Check out. Let's do health first. There you go. A 10% off. Health first. Just over $300. I'm spending over $250 on my current protocol a month. That's not even including everything else. So realistically, I'm in way over $300 a month. But something that just naturally unlocks your ability. And the fact of the matter is, if this is something you can live without, boom, it costs you nothing. 30 days later, return it. We'll give you your money back. I'd wager to bet that this singularly will move the health meter in such a degree you will notice. And let's do a system where we're buying and gifting this for someone, giving them that 30-day challenge. Because if we start kicking off to where folks aren't buying them for themselves and they just are given the opportunity to see the impact, we're completely subverting the uphill battle of what all the information it takes. And frankly, in this debilitated state, the majority of us aren't even willing to consider the true implications of this known radiation. Because it's like, what are we going to do about it? So if we just show up with the solution and we just show up to, hey, pay attention over these 30 days and let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your sleep is. Let me know how you're feeling throughout the day. And once it's solidified, oh my gosh, what is this? Like I'm doing so much better. I feel regulated for the first time. I feel secure in my person, spiritually, mentally, physically secure, relationally. In this life, secure. What a freaking gift. Once they feel that, you challenge them to pay it forward. And folks, for those that want to do that, we want to incentivize you to do just that. We have an affiliate program. As of right now, you'll get, what is it? Oh, yeah, in this test profile, I can log out. But you'll get an additional 10%. So now we're talking 20% off. 10% kickback for you, 10% for them. Anyone that's really kicking butt and blessing lives, you'll be getting an email from me, and we'll do what we can to even incentivize you that much more. I cannot express what a gift, what a blessing this has been enough. Like I can't in my life. I feel like this is a God gift. This isn't a me. We're trying our best to keep this affordable. The fact of the matter is the ones that are $300 to $500 are not even half the size of this one, and that isn't even including the additional material you attach to the headboard. If you don't have a headboard, okay, we'll sacrifice the visual, pin it to the wall above, experience the cocoon, give it the 30 days, and you'll more than likely be adding decor to it or buying a headboard for your bed or something to remedy, okay, if you don't like the visual appeal of that. But this is 90-inch by 90-inch cover, full insert of this material, 100% proven. We've tested it up the wazoo. And I believe this is the course of action to take, because once someone knows at that point, now, okay, to integrate pocket, insert, shielding, it's done. Modem, shielding, because this is within our environment that we do have control over. Just to minimize the exposure during the day just means we're going to put less burden on our body at night in our cocoons to repair. So versus repairing, we're going to be more so tapping into a fountain of youth. The Faraday bags. And you don't have to put your phone in there. You could use these Faraday bags as the blanket, because that's one of the weak spots. If you're in this cocoon and you're fully protected, let's take a look at that picture. And my connection. Hopefully we're not glitching too much. What's wrong with the connection? Let's go. Bear with me. Let's just go into this picture. When you have your headboard and there's minimal angle, very minimal angle for any radiation to permeate your person. But you see the nightstand? You put your phone right there. Look at that. You're giving it the weak spot. So at the point you get a cocoon, either wrap it in this material or at minimum get a cocoon, get one of these bags or mats or even some of the fabric. Create your own. This is tested. We verified. It's uncompromisingly effective. But the point you cover it, it will still connect. It'll ring. It'll call. But you use that as a real shield, because these signals coming off our devices, I'm pleasantly surprised, are linear. That radiation, like if you can see your phone, that radiation can see you. It's not like a fog or a mist. So you cover it and it's permeating around. The meter tests that we even show on the website prove just that. It's linear. So when you use it as a new, modern, effective shield to these new battlefields we're facing, it's the right shielding for the job. Do not sleep on this information, folks. Here's the homepage. Give me some feedback, some refinements. I believe there isn't a way of going about educating folks that's just going to lead. And this is my view. I could care less truly about the business side of it. However, it is important that we embolden individuals that their mission over business, because we gotta pay the bills. We gotta keep this viable enough to keep the lights on, and some additional to get to the root. If this really goes where we believe it's going, we will be emboldened to get those towers at the source and changing the hertz, changing the frequencies, keeping all our wireless world we live in, but changing it to at minimum a neutral, harmful impact on our human biology. I'd venture to say we could shift it into known healing wavelengths and frequencies and get away from the radiation spectrum we are bathed in as we speak. Help embolden us to get there. Some of these other companies that are out there are just in it to get rich quick kind of scheme. That is not us. We're mission driven, purpose driven, with morals. Give us the chance. This whole podcast to this point hasn't been just to be controversial. It's been at great costs all around: mental, physical, emotional, financial. That's our life purpose. That's my life purpose. Help me help you. Help me help the masses. I want to help you help others. So I believe there's no way we could hit this perfectly, but it does need revisions. Any tech gurus, let us know how we can clean all this up to have maximum impact. We got teams rolling out. We're even looking to build this out on other sites. But you can't sleep on this information. Let's play this clip right here. But two of me on the screen is too much. So let's do this. Give this a listen. I mean, I could show you right here. I got the microwave sitting right next to me. I do. And the meter. But it's all done right here. Just give this a listen. Yes, this is a microwave. As you could see. Here's my cellular device. Even as the screen goes off. Get that away from me. Welcome to the UNMUZZLEDCHAT store. I'm James, and I just want to go over why start with that. Well, we all know attention spans these days, so I hope that provoked some thought. Why is our microwave putting out the same wavelength of our cellular device? In fact, our cellular devices put out higher amounts of that wavelength than most microwaves. It's pretty much common knowledge at this point, from what I've gathered, that nobody in their right mind would stand right next to or put their face right up next to a microwave while it's running, nor allow their children to do so. Yet, we're not connecting the dot on our cellular devices, putting out even a higher microwave frequency. In fact, it's not just a frequency, it's radiation. But we dive into all the technicalities for you in the other clips provided right here on this webpage. We go over this very meter. We go over the actual frequencies these devices emit, and frequency is, frankly, too nice of a word. It is a radiation, and it's been classified as a radiation by many institutions, doctors, and scientists. We go over the studies, but most importantly, versus just screaming into the void, we're actually here to provide solutions and protection for you. So excited to share this information with you. Be sure to check out our solutions. What are you waiting for? We'll see you on the next video. I don't know about you folks, but they need a better representative than that guy. Help fund them to get a better representative than that guy. Please. I'm begging you. I'm not cut out for this. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want my face out there, my raspy voice out there. You kidding me? I know there are better suited individuals for all this. It's such an important time. I believe we're going to continuously see more red flags, more get wrapped up into more shenanigans. We didn't even get to the bottom of the Epstein files, Charlie Kirk's assassination, and really what's happening in the Middle East, all of which all ties together under the banking cabal. But I digress. For us to even have the capability on unpacking all of that and shifting the destructive direction we're heading very quickly, it's through none other than upping our health and ability to absorb information and not just take the propagandist talking points. As Charlie was building the foundation, we could gain the discernment and the open dialogue without being so triggered, so emotionally erratic. What does that tell us? We're walking around in such an inflamed state. We lose really quickly the intent of even having the conversation and being able to, and I myself have been there. In any one of these moments with a loved one, whatever topic you're talking on, political realm, I mean, there's so many wedge issues. It's so easy to just boom. And we're not even effectively being like, conversation's over. What's this? This is what matters. We're not seeing eye to eye. We're no longer like showing up with love and affection for one another. What is that? We're not addressing the elephant in the room. Well, what is really causing that? What happens naturally at the point we up our health and we're walking around like secure and everything and less inflammation? We have the bandwidth to have constructive conversations. So it is crucial, not just on our personal paths. This is totally shifts, totally changes that in and of itself. But in the bigger picture, this, I believe, is going to help solve all, like essentially securing the direction our country's heading, the world's heading, and securing our futures. Little interactive here. Does your cell phone cause cancer? Yes. Here's the evidence right here. You could just listen to these 47 seconds. RFK states it right away that cell phones have been proven to cause cancer. We have the solutions here. More to come. But people could just click into these. The modem shields. The on the go. The cocoon. I just want this to be a hub to benefit you all. Please check out trueshield.me. This is the video page. So homepage, shop page, video page. There's just a whole bunch of information for those that are thirsty, for those that have ears to hear. All this is great. But let's be real. So many of us this is only queued up for those that really are thirsty. Because most of us just aren't operating at a state to even care. So I'd venture to say, as I've experienced, a lot of this just isn't landing. So how do we really address that? Get the cocoon for yourself and see for yourself. Full money back guarantee. You got it from me. You can reach out. can share this again. You could just, boom. If you're not happy with it, reach out right here. We'll get you refunded. Not a problem. You just got to give it at least a chance, 30 days. So do the antenna search. See how many are around you. And we got to be mindful. I'd say generally, without having to get crazy scientific about it, generally, that will give you a good idea. And at the point you have 10 towers, 10 antennas, yeah, it could be worth looking into. Just having a few in close proximity, I'd venture to say, could be more damning than some situations with hundreds at distance. So it's very situational. You can make the assessment for yourself, and just that quick antenna search. And to the point they're there, they're present. Because if you are remote and you have the ability to shut down these systems when you sleep, well, cocoon's not guarding you from much at that point, is it? What benefits are you really going to have? It'll just be, but this is what it is, folks. This tech is getting integrated even into satellites. So whether the infrastructure is really built out. So I digress. On the prepper standpoint, I never even considered. This has been so instrumental to my health. It's like, wow, I wouldn't even thought, but here we are. And a lot of our former affiliations were to supply us with things, and I believe it'd be wise to be prepared on with water storage, food storage. If you got the ability to acquire some gold, silver, ammunition, even a cash pile, it's just wise. I would have never even have thought of adding this to the list, and this will come soon. I'll even start putting emergency blankets where it's just a Faraday material. It folds up, but it's enough to cover a person to have in our vehicles on the go. More on that futuristically, because that actually does date back to, I had a very powerful dream years back where I was attacked by a frequency, and it was like, it felt prophetic. It felt like a vision, because it was just one of those, you woke up like sweating, like, is this the afterlife? And it took a while to realize, what was that? Holy smokes, that was the most vivid, one of the most vivid I've ever experienced. I so badly want folks and you all, the Unmuzzled Chat warriors, to experience these breakthroughs for yourself and then go from there. Be a part of the movement. Ultimately, there's so much more I want to dive into on this and my personal testimony on it, and it's growing every single day. And it's crazy. I'm down there. I'm integrating, more antifungals and some other things to just like eradicate and purge as we're killing the Lyme within me. So I could feel protocols taking impact. But this has regulated everything. Where everything was a roller coaster, I've been stabilized. And my circadian rhythm on point. No alarms needed. I'm waking up at like 6 a.m. No problem. Are you kidding me? Before, I couldn't go to bed earlier than 11. I'd sleep 10, 11 hours, not getting up 11 some days. It's like 12 hours in bed, just waking up feeling like death. The best explanation I'd have, even being, 8+ years sober, haven't touched alcohol. The best I don't think I could extract from experiencing alcohol is, that's the best description I have at this point, where I was just waking up feeling hungover. Terrible. Like some of the worst hangovers I ever experienced, but without alcohol. What is that? Guys, don't sleep on this. If you have any questions, you want to reach out to me personally, reach out to unmuzzledchat normalized@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I know this could shift. Just depends on the response. How big we can get. It's sickening to think of this like a business. I know what we could do with that blessing. It's more about help me bring it home to where people are gaining the protections for themselves so they could feel the shift for themselves, so we could once and for all, and this is what it is. I can bring this back to the stage. I can minimize this window. So much research. I even had to, we'll just close this out. I had to close so many of the windows because I didn't want to have this stream bogged down. But looking into the studies, the information, I mean, there's so much out there on this. Symptoms like nausea, loss of appetite, sleep disturbances, loss of memory, lowering of libido, headaches, dizziness, heart palpitations, tinnitus, skin rashes, visual, every aspect to our being. And we're being radiated. So dare I say everyone is impacted? I know everyone is. This is diminishing us. Even the healthiest among us. You just don't know. It's kind of like what we have wrapped up in the cocoon description. Finally get yourself the sleep you didn't know you needed. And that captures it. Everyone that I have in one of these right now, you'll be seeing their testimonials. We got doctors onboarding this as a standard of care as we speak. And it's just a matter of time. Why delay for yourself and everyone you love? So once again, it's like, as much as I want to dive into the noise on everything because it is important, let's step back and acknowledge something. We continuously find ourselves accepting. We're operating in a state of accepting the unacceptable. You name it. Politically, economically, I mean, our freedoms as a country. Are you kidding me? This would help us lead to the solutions on all that. And I know that. So instead of being hamsters on that hamster wheel, this is a real solution. Finally, thank God. And I mean it in the most pure, beautiful sense. Humble stance. This isn't me. I'm grateful for this gift. I'm just sitting here with all my flaws, with Lyme and everything, tripping up over my own testimony over it, but it's been so instrumental, and I know it will be across the board. Help us help others. God bless you. I cannot wait till next time. I need to get in this infrared sauna and get some of this detox happening, and look forward to the next episode. Till next time. God bless.